Welcome back to comics, to Hot Comics TV, and the biggest franchise of all time, Superman. This is the Silver Age. So, my relationship with this character has always been, up and down. As I was growing up, my jam was never something from the classics like the Golden and Silver Age, even the Bronze Age. I gravitated to more horror comics. But the Blue Boy Scout cannot be denied his presence and the achievement of what cultural icon this character is. I mean, this is the most recognized character around the world. If we think about it, we got to give credit where credit's due. And to see Superman, or for us to be able to collect this at this stage with the history that this character has, it would be very expensive. It would be very difficult, and to be able to get into the whole lore and minutia of the character. So this Silver Age collection is by far probably one of the best affordable ways to go about it. I've always had the presence of the comic book around me. Probably the person that did read it more than I ever did was my brother. My brother had he did ask for this sort of thing. I didn't. I was introduced to this much later, and the more that I see this, the more that I sort of like appreciate it for what the character is. So the Silver Age, let's talk a little bit about the Silver Age. This is the aftermath market after the code of authority that came in and really set the comic book industry for at least 20 years. It just destroyed the industry. A lot of creators had to go and do things that they couldn't work on. EC Comics was literally destroyed, and things expanded and moved in a very different way. So this is a very sanitized superhero book. So the character is not what they were moving forward. Now, you can sort of see that Batman would suffer the same treatment. So even if you went into the 80s and talked to someone that had been in the industry for a long time, their mentality was that all of these characters were for 8-year-olds. Like an 8-year-old was the one that was going to be the target market for them. And that never evolved, and that's why we're having probably the issues that we're having right now. But I don't want to get into that either. I just want to get into the art and somewhat a little bit of the stories, because the stories are so wacky. This is the thing. Why I got into this and less into the Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's golden era of Superman is because these are really wacky, like all out crazy stories that I would have gone like, wow, that was the Silver Age, or I thought they were doing something else. So I had gone in and I've embraced the love for the character. I love what Superman is now. The older that I get, the more I love the idea of what they've done with the character. And also, we've had a stellar collection of creators that have come in and introduced new ideas to this character. So without delaying anymore, Kurt Swan is part of the artists, one of the pencilers for this, with Wayne Boring, Al Plastino, Kurt Schaeffenberger, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing these names correctly, and Gene Mooney. Dick Sprang as well. These guys are very talented artists that bring a very the house style of what DC Comics was. But regardless of what you want to say, these guys knew what they were doing, penciling wise, and without saying that the inking people, or there's some of them are doing the inking duties as well. So I cannot give more praise to what this collection is, especially for someone who wants to get into the whole lore of what Superman was. And you cannot say that, oh, this is going to be difficult to read or anything. No. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be, you gotta sort of think about what this is, and it's introducing a character in a different time. So we cannot come in with critical, words about this. This is a lot of good fun. So yeah. All right, so let's go over these. I'm not gonna take away also from the writers, from Jerry Siegel to Otto Binder to Jerry Coleman. Bill Finger is in this as well. I was not aware of that. Robert Bernstein and Al Schwartz. Anyway, this is the introduction to like crazy stuff. So this is all good. Okay, let's go over it. So apparently, this is the cementing beginning of the Silver Age for DC Comics. I would have thought that the Silver Age really started with the Fantastic Four #1, but I don't know. I'm not a historian, and I'm also not well versed on what Superman is, because I've come back late to this party. And yeah, to begin with, this is, I think, the first introduction to the Fortress of Solitude, which is a lot of fun. And the Fortress of Solitude, or the Fort of Superman, see, this is the thing. They're calling it the Fortress of Solitude, but that was already established on Doc Savage on the pulps. And I remember hearing someone talking about this that read Doc Savage, the pulps, and that is being sort of taken from there to that. It's like a lot of the ideas from Buck Rogers went and translated to Flash Gordon. The same thing happening here, that Doc Savage is like a precursor superhero with super strength, and he works with a group of other heroes or adventurers that work as in a team. And I think a lot of those ideas they're trickling down over because these guys would have read a lot of those pulps when they were growing up, and then we've got these sort of comic book ideas being implemented into these stories. So it's very interesting, to say the least. There's a few discrepancies here because we got a different designs. It's almost like they weren't working in cohesion with things. The key is very different on the cover. Superman. This is why he's so much fun, because you get to see Superman do crazy stuff. Like he's doing a diary, and the diary is made out of steel, and he's sort of engraving it with his eyes. Now that's the key on the actual comic, and whether you get to see, I think this is Kurt Swan doing the cover, and he's a different key. As you can sort of tell, the key, it looks like a key, and this is like this weird, bizarre arrow, which has got its point of why they've done that. And this is Superman on his day off or something. He's like not really saving or doing anything grandiose. So he comes in, and some weird way, Superman's got like rooms dedicated to the people that he knows, which is also very interesting. I was not aware of that, because obviously a lot of the lore that I know is from Christopher Reeve's Superman, right? That was my introduction to Superman when I was a little kid, and I didn't see it at the theaters. I saw it on VHS. So anyway, when you see Superman that has rooms with Jimmy Olsen, like some sort of statue, is it a wax museum? What's going on? Very interesting ideas. And he's got a room dedicated to Batman. And Batman's relationship with Superman on this is that they're friends. It's like super friends. This is good stuff. That Superman paints. He's a he dabbles on painting, as you can sort of see. He does science projects on the side. He's got a room dedicated to Clark Kent, like to his alter ego. He has a chamber with creatures I don't understand from other worlds, apparently. So it very interesting. Very interesting. And he writes with his finger. Oh man. Plays chess. Conducts experiments. This is what happens in Superman's The Fortress of Solitude. This is what he does on his spare time. It's so bizarre. So there's an intruder into the Fortress of Solitude, and he's sort of going, how? The whole point of the key, by the way, is that he's the only one that can actually lift it. So that's the whole point of that. And he's getting comments and saying, I know who you are, blah, blah, blah. It's sort of like a cat and mouse sort of game. Superman goes home, goes back to Metropolis, and he's having bad dreams. He does his Superman stuff, and then again he's getting another can't be Superman. I told you I knew. Now that I have proven it tonight is your last chance to act. So this guy who's this intruder is like giving him cryptic and sort of playing and toying around with him until you discover that he's Batman. But it's cool, And Kryptonite, even though that it was so far away, there's still a lot of fragments litter on Earth. So Kryptonite very easy and available to sort of like muck around with Superman. Then Batman sort of explains, oh no dude, it was a practical joke, blah blah blah, and I sneaked in on the key that you made. Okay. But the practical joke is coming back to Batman because Superman goes, I knew all along. You trying to trick me? Why? Why are you trying what are you even trying to try? Don't even try. I'm Superman. Interesting. So to say the least, and he shows him the compartment. He was all in the end is that he's trying to tell him that he was trying to shop for him because it's the anniversary that Superman landed on Earth. And when you get to a guy that has everything in a gigantic scale, so he couldn't get him anything, and it's shopping around the department at Sears probably, and they're super pals. And at the end of the story, it all reveals that they're gonna have a gigantic cake, because everything's big in the Fortress of Solitude. Somehow he had a cake there. Maybe Superman baked it. Who knows? But this is the type of literature that you're gonna get into the Silver Age sort of theme material that you're getting into with this Omnibus. Now, this is the sort of thing that I would like to share with people, because this is not really catered for like my age gap, my age demographic. I think this would be dedicated to people around my dad's age. Baby boomers, I guess. They would be the ones to be targeted for this. The people that grew up with this sort of thing. But anybody that loves comics, and if you love the art, because the art is beautiful as well on its own, it's wholesome. You're not getting convoluted with stuff. The narrative is very clean panel. I'm not going to use the word childish, because it's not. It's well accomplished, it's well rendered, it's well colored. I love the flat color, swatch that they're using on this. Is just brilliant. it's complementary to the art, which what it should be. You get to see Superman do his thing. It's good. So all of these stories are going to be wacky, and that's what you should be expecting out of this book. And it's a great collection. If you had the capital to collect Silver Age comics, but by all means, I'm not gonna criticize. So that's the kickoff of, what do you call it, of the Silver Age for DC Comics in general. Punching a tank. Yeah, that's another important thing. It's that we get to see for the first time Brainiac. Kurt Swan again on cover duties, and a different look from what Brainiac looks like opposed to what he does in the book. He looks like the villain from Shazam. I was about to call him Dr. Garganza, but it's not. It's someone else. I can't remember the villain for Shazam, but it kind of looks like that sort of, mad scientist. See that? It's my mad scientist sort of look. I love the assistant monkey. This is awesome stuff. So cool. The color scheme is so cool. If you love art and you're into comics, I highly recommend this. Even that you're not the target demographic, I've said it before. But again, you gotta be open-minded about this sort of thing, it's comics. Good fun stuff. Switch off, just have fun. Again, another important hallmark of this book is in this series is that it's the first introduction of Supergirl. And again, the look of the character on the cover, very different to the one in the inside. I think these guys weren't working on, I guess the deadlines affected that. Not working in unison. It's beautifully done. I know that the writers wanted to separate the stories away from Superman, so Superman could do Superman stuff, and Lois Lane, they weren't going to focus on Lois Lane because Lois Lane was going to have her own book and get into her own adventures. And these are those are the even wackier stories because Lois Lane has powers. Jimmy Olsen has his own book as well, which we all know that Jack Kirby later on comes in and sort of took it and made a spin out of it and made it his own. So it's beautiful stuff. Just amazing. Yeah, so they're talking about Jor-El. Jor-El gets reintroduced into the lore. When I saw this, I thought this is the most awesome cover of a comic book in a long time. When I saw a line Superman, oh my goodness. What a great surprise. Hold on, sorry, I'm just trying to adjust this. Yeah, this is amazing. Just to see this cover alone. Yeah, so this is a city from Krypton, establishing Krypton. Because this deep multiverse, there's a lot of weird stuff happening in these stories. Like Superboy goes and travels into the future, and that's when the League of Legion of Legion, the Legion of Superheroes, kicked off with Superboy. That's Superman being Superboy. So these are things I've been sort of learning along as I've been going with these stories. It's a lot of good stuff here. this is hilarious. I love it. Oh my god. I love us kissing him as a lion. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. They should make this into a cartoon. People, they got so much material. I don't know why they're not using this. Oh well, we kind of know, but I'm not gonna get into the conversation. This is amazing. Yeah, the super sword. Yeah, good stuff on this. Good material. Gonna be speeding this up, otherwise this will be too long. It's such a long book. Let's go through the highlights of it. There's another bizarre story where Superman falls in love with a mermaid. He like legitimately falls in love with that. And there's a lot of like wacky stories of Lois Lane dreaming, and there's a lot of dream stuff. She gains superpowers, and he's playing the cat and mouse game with her, like Clark Kent's in love with her. But anyway, it's a lot of fantasy. I want to get to the one where there's two stories that I loved, and one of them is like Superman the Water. Oh yeah, the Mad one, the Mad magazine. I don't know if they're having a go, because it's just hilarious. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah. There's all the wacky stuff. This is why, if you want to get into Superman, this probably would be the best way to get into, because of all the shenanigans and crazy, wacky things that are happening like an old man Superman. You gotta get credit to these guys, like it goes to Lois Lane. It's like the wacky episodes of Star Trek. This is what I get out of this. I feel like the original Star Trek, no, Next Gen. Yeah, this is really good stuff. So this is where the lore is being cemented in. So yeah, on this one, my goodness, this is to me like the most crazy one out of all, because he falls in love with the mermaid, and they're talking about marriage and all. It's awesome. They should have gone that route, mermaid, and forget about Lois Lane. I dare to say also that this is the first in the Silver Age is when Bizarro is introduced. I'm not too sure though, but this is just outrageous stuff. Yeah, here we are. I think this is where they introduced Bizarre for the first time. The alternative universes and all of that. Superboy stories. And sales-wise, I think that back then in the day when they were publishing these, Superboy was up there in sales with Superman. So anyway, there it is. I really love this volume, this Superman volume. I highly recommend this for everybody who wants to get into it. Yeah, there it is. Highly recommend this. Well published, a well put together book. I think that they could do more with this as design wise. They could have foiled these. They could have put the emblem of Superman. I don't know. Give more to people what they want. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time again. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know what you think of Superman in total as well. It would be great to know. Thank you so much once again. Till next time. Bye-bye.